Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the show. Welcome to It's Still Real to Me. I'm your host, John Kucher, aka Johnny Fashion. With me, as always, Harmon. What's happening?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening to you. You're looking very dapper with your shaved head and Eric Rowan beard. I love it.
Yeah, I was getting out of control, so I had to do something about it.
Yeah, it looks really good. You look just in time for Halloween.
Yes.
We
I've
have a
been,
fun show. We have a fun show today. Uh, we have Ed from Wrestlecrate in the house today. What's going on, Ed?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. This is awesome. Thanks
yeah,
for
thank you.
giving us the time. Harmon and I are both big fans of Wrestlecrate. We are subscribers, and we just wanted to sit down, chat, see how everything came about, and see the man behind the crate, so to speak.
Right.
The man behind the box.
It's actually the boy behind the box.
Yeah? Yeah, well
Yeah.
tell us about it, man. How did this all come about?
Basically how it all started was I'm just a average Joe, nobody special, worked a 9 to 5. Me and my son, we were doing the loot crate thing. And a couple months in a row he wasn't too happy with it. So he said, "Hey Dad, is there a loot crate for wrestling?" And I was like, "I don't know, let me look." We both are big wrestling fans. We watch wrestling all the time and such. So I went on Google, looked it up, couldn't find anything, and I was like, "Hey, dude, sorry, there isn't one." He's like, "Well, let's start one. We could sell it on the internet and at Toys R Us." And I was like, a little light bulb went up above my head. I've never owned a business or did anything like that, so I kind of just did some investigating and just started it up. Got my business license and got distributors lined up and just went for it. Uh, he, my son was 7 at the time, but he came up with the idea of the marketing, which really worked great. Was he watched a lot of these YouTube channels that dealt with wrestling, like the Grimm's Toy Show and Dank Ops and those guys, and he said, "Why don't you send them a sample box and see if they like it and see if they'll open it up on their channel?" So I contacted them and emailed them, and they were all for it. Like, yeah, we'll check it out. And then before I knew it, I had a couple hundred subscribers. Before I even launched the first one.
That's
How,
awesome, man.
how many subscribers do you have now?
We're right around 1,600.
1,600. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah,
Um,
and we're shipping our seventh month right now. This will be the seventh crate. So our first ones went out at the end of April. So we've got a pretty good growth rate going.
yeah, definitely, man. I think I came on. I became a subscriber. I think I've gotten four now, so I was a little late to the game, but man, once I found out about it, I was like, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing ever. I know for me, and Harmon could probably express his love for it after as well. But I just love like the surprise of it. It's so cool getting something in the mail. You don't know what you're gonna get. Um, I tend to hold off on watching unboxings just because
Oh, it's
that's the
so
thrill.
hard. So hard
It is
hold
very
off
hard.
the unboxing video.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, man, that's the thrill of it.
I get that a lot. People like trying to give me advice on how to ship the boxes out to avoid spoilers, and like people in California or whatever. Of course, people in Indiana who's like right next to us are going to get the crates before the people in California. So the people in California are like, "Why can't you send us out first and send those people out a day later?" And they want to do all these logistical things to make sure everybody gets it at the same time to avoid spoilers. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I mean, and that's gonna be like an unbeatable challenge pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just insane trying to time everything up. I mean, we're in Maine, so we've got quite a distance to wait as well. But I've
Yeah.
been nothing but thrilled with it and satisfied, man. You guys are doing a great job. So
I
um,
appreciate it.
yeah, what's the hardest part of running it, and what's the easiest part of running it? Do you think?
Uh, the hardest part is, I guess, trying to stay on top of everything. We're to the point now where we have a lot of subscribers, and I mean, we're really a small family business. I mean, I really don't have any employees per se. I have friends who I pay with beer and pizza to help pack boxes, and so
Nice.
we're actually truly a family business. So we're at a point now where we're growing so fast. It's just staying on top of it and make sure our customer service and all the questions are answered in a timely manner. And then on the plus side, that is my favorite part of it, is the customer service and interacting with the customers and fan base and doing contests and things like that. So it's kind of a double-edged sword when that aspect of it.
Nice, man. Yeah, I can imagine that it's hard to. I know that I've paid many people with beer and pizza to like help me move.
Right?
My friends seem to be very up for that. Um,
I mean, who doesn't love beer and pizza? Come on.
Right. Yeah.
it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's universal. Um, how much does besides coming up with like the marketing and stuff and being the genius behind all this, how much does Aiden, does he right there alongside packing boxes
Yeah,
and
yeah,
doing all that
he
stuff? Yeah.
really does. He gets down there. He really don't pack the boxes too much. He just helps with the like, hey, go give me this, hey, go give me that kind of thing. And he likes breaking down boxes and things like that. And then
Yeah.
of course, when we get all the shipments in, he's the first one inside of it. Like, hey, what do we got in here? Kind of seeing what he get his hands on first.
He's like opening action figures and
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, his action figure collection is unbelievable at this point.
oh, I can imagine. Goodness. I've got a small collection. Harmon, I know you've got a much larger one
Yeah, I could
behind
pan
you.
the camera and show you, I guess, but it's out of control right now.
Yeah. uh, so Ed, moving on to the future, like how do you guys see yourself? I know like recently, I won't name names or anything, but I know that some people are kind of creating similar products. I know recently, like Mick Foley kind of endorsed one. Again, not going to name names, but how do you plan on competing and kind of keeping above the competition and stuff like
Um,
that?
I'm all for competition. It keeps me on my toes. It makes me keep the best crate out there, and I truly believe, because of our low overhead cost and how we do things, that we will still be the best crate, no matter who's behind it. They may have the big name recognition and all of that, but I think the interacting with customers and putting a good product out every month will remain at the top. Um, the thing I'm not too crazy about is the similar names,
Yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
what do you do?
Right.
We announced yesterday that we actually were opening up a distributor in the UK. So pretty much we started a franchise over in the UK to build our customer base over there, because the problem we were running into is the shipping cost to the UK for European customers. So I'm friends with Richard Pennyluna, the owner of Calling Spots magazine. So me and him came up with a brilliant plan a couple months ago to see if it was possible for him to start up Wrestlecrate Europe, and we got the ball rolling on that a few months ago, and then yesterday we were able to announce that. So he will be pretty much taking care of all of Europe. All the crates should remain pretty similar to what we do over here in the U.S. There may be a couple small differences, like maybe a T-shirt might be different or something like that. But for the most part, the crates will remain the same. So I think that's huge, because I think we'll lock down the European market with the name Wrestle Crate being over there. It's a known name in the Wrestle Crate business, and I think we'll do nothing but grow over there. The European customers were paying like something insane, like $21 just for shipping.
Yeah,
And
it costs
yeah,
more than the standard crate. So
right. And I hated doing that, but we didn't really have any other option, just because of the size of the box and the weight of it and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So now the European customers are going to be right in line with us over here, paying about the same shipping rate, since it will be going out of the UK.
Nice.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
that's
we
awesome. That's huge.
we have a member of the Smart Mark team that's in the UK, and when we told him about the Wrestlecrate, he's like, "Oh, that's really cool," and he's like, "No, shipping's gonna be too much." So I told him the other day when you guys launched the UK site, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna get one now."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really good for European customers. We had probably, I don't know, 250 or 300 European customers.
Really, that
Um, I,
many?
yeah, yeah. It's really surprising that I expect that to probably grow to around 1,000 by the first of the year. Um, just from, I think we did over 100 in the first 24 hours.
Wow,
About 100 new customers in the first 24 hours of announcing yesterday.
that's awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Um, yeah, man, that'll be great to kind of explore that region. Especially because the shipping cost is that much more from here to over there. You guys are in there first. That's fantastic. Um,
I got a question. With uh, the other wrestling crate company, um,
hmm
is that going to be cutting into your products, your T-shirts, your what you get available from wherever you get your stuff? I mean, uh, the autographs are awesome. Like the little stuff like the pins and like the comic books. Those are all that's all cool stuff. But like I noticed like some of the shirts they came from a very similar place to where the new crate is coming out of.
Right. We're exploring some things. I don't think too much would change. The shirt thing is kind of a funny situation right now. So right now everything's remaining the same, but we're exploring options. We have a couple artists who have done wrestling shirt designs who are on the Wrestlecrate team. So we have several options to explore as far as shirts go. Um, as far as everything else, I mean, there's so much stuff out there, and I don't know what their intentions are, what they plan to sell or do. I know one of their things said that don't get the same collectible you already have. So it seems like to me that they might be going for newer products or a little I don't know the word I'm looking for I don't know, like a knickknack or something. I don't know what their plans are.
yeah, just like a
Is-
very specific niche for of stuff. So, huh? Uh,
Right, right.
yeah, interesting. Well, I will say that when I saw that advertisement for the other crate, like I looked at a lot of the comments underneath, and WrestleCrate's name popped up like a lot. So you definitely have a lot of supporters out there, and everybody. The comments were nothing but positive for WrestleCrate. I saw a lot of them saying like, I already have WrestleCrate, thanks. Yeah, or like all this stuff kind of supporting WrestleCrate. So that was really nice to see. Your subscribers out there kind of sticking up for you. So and I thought it was
Right.
awesome. I mean, like you
It is
said,
awesome. It's kind of like how the wrestling world is today. There's a lot of support for the indie wrestling, and hopefully they see that for what it is. Like when I told my wife about it when everything went down. I mean, she literally cried for like an hour. Like, oh my
yeah,
God, he's trying to walk all over us because there's a small backstory with the whole thing where I was in talks with him to work with us, and he would look into it and everything else, and then it kind of started getting blown off, and then all of a sudden 2 months later, here he is on the face of one with a similar name. So it is what it is. But kind of how I view it is, we're kind of the mom and pop store that everybody loves, and Walmart's trying to move to town.
Yeah, I mean, you guys really hit it out there first, and you got your base set up, and your social media presence is outstanding. I mean, you're always answering questions. You're not afraid to get back out there and talk to the fans. The Periscope stuff that you did with like the giveaways and prizes and contests and stuff, like with the gold Rhino autographs, which I'm still mad at the Young Bucks for using a gold marker, because when I got that thing, I was like, "You bastards!" I was like, "Yes, I won," and I texted you, you're like, "Nope, nope, that they just did that."
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many people said that. I was like, oh my god. And I thought that when I got the autographs in and I opened the box, I was like, oh, it figures they use a gold pen. So I kind of knew that was coming, which is kind of funny.
Oh, that's funny. Our buddy Dustin Sun would have been thrilled with a gold marker, gold Sharpie autograph. We have a whole backstory about that. So speaking of like the variety though of the contents in your crate, what I like about it is that it's not just mainstream stuff and it's not just indie stuff. It's kind of a mixed bag, and that's pretty awesome. So you kind of hit the wrestling fans of all genres. You'll throw a Macho Man Randy Savage pop vinyl in there, with something else that's like Ring of Honor DVD. It's just a really cool wide scope of things. So how
I like
how
the Speakeasy DVD from last month. I was watching some of that the other day. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's really interesting. Yeah, I mean that company is so awesome. We're sponsoring an event on November 7th in Muncie, Indiana. And when they first contacted me and I watched some of their stuff, I was like, this is so cool. More people need to see this and know about it. So I was all for working with them when they came to me, because I mean that's the thing about the wrestling world. There's so many cool artists and promotions and all kinds of different things that a lot of people don't see, and I like being a part of that and bringing it to more people, and that's one of the cool things about what we do.
So how do you go about, I know everything's probably different, but how do you go about like getting your stuff, like for instance like autographs and stuff? Like do you have somebody in the inside, or do you get like a deal on stuff, or how do you go about, I mean, and again, you don't have to get into specifics or anything, but
Right.
um like the Young Bucks autograph was super cool. Like that blew me away. I was like, oh my god, two autographs? Like this is nuts. Like this is awesome. And it's the Young Bucks too. And it just blew me away. Like how do you go about even just starting to get something like that?
When I first started, I was lucky enough to come into contact with some people who really support me and still support what we do today, and through just the people I've met and the people we've worked with so far early, it's just kind of a word of mouth thing. And I'll get emails and phone calls out of the blue all the time saying, hey, this is so and so, I see what you're doing, I think it's awesome, I'd be interested in doing some stuff with you if you're interested. And then um, Michael Kingston, the from Headlock Comics, like he's fantastic. I mean he's helped me with so much stuff. He's almost been a mentor to me. Like I said, I was just an average Joe. I was just a sit on your couch raw guy every Monday, hanging out with my son, and then all of a sudden I'm immersed into this wrestling world, with zero contacts at all, and I've just been fortunate on how everything's just came together. I mean, when I first really realized it, it was I don't like our second or third crate. I just get a phone call on my phone, and he's like, "Hey, is this Ed?" And I'm like, "Yeah, who is this?" He's like, "It's Terry. You might know me as Rhino." And I'm like, "Are you serious? Is freaking Rhino really calling me on my phone?" So, so that's kind of how it's going now. And he just got my number from somebody, and I guess just the word's getting around. And with the autographs, what I attribute a lot of that to is, these guys go to conventions and stuff, and probably, you know, go there and spend hours and hours and hours and only make a couple $1,000 when they could call me and do the autographs from the comfort of their own home and make the same amount of money instead of they have to travel to a convention and things like that. So I think that's kind of how they see it.
That's great, man. That's a great way to think about it. That didn't even cross my mind. That's pretty awesome. Um,
Yeah, we met one of our wrestling heroes over the summer, and he did not seem all that happy to be sitting there signing autograph after autograph after autograph.
Yeah, I've kind of noticed that too. I've been in a couple conventions where they're like, "Oh, come on, get this day over with."
yeah, I've been to a few things similar. Like I've been to a few like big time wrestling shows, and they'll do like autographs before and stuff. And everything is, it's weird because it's pricey for kind of what it is. but also it's time consuming, and it's just you get, like you said, like you got to kind of deal with the crowd. It's not from the comfort of your own home. It's not like I come home from work and there's a crate sitting on my porch and I'm like, yeah, all right, there's an autograph in there, or something. But
And going back to something you said earlier about the the different things in the crates. When I started it, I always wanted it to be that. I wanted it to be a wide variety. I just didn't want it to be a WWE crate or whatever crate. I wanted it to be a wide variety just because for the most part, you're never going to make everybody 100% happy. Most people aren't going to be happy with every single item in the box. So you kind of got to have a big mix of, at least you have a few things that may grab their attention. I mean, some people may like everything in it, but you want to have a variety of things. People may hate Ring of Honor and are happy that they get the WWE figures, and vice versa with that. So that's kind of my view on that. The thing that drives me crazy is when somebody gets a crate and says, "Oh, this wasn't worth it. I'm canceling," or whatever. I mean, it's always worth it. You cannot like it. That's completely understandable. You don't have to like it, but when people say it's not worth it, it just drives me crazy. Just because, I mean, everyone has an extreme value to it, and so that's one of the things that just drives me up a wall is when they say it's not worth it.
yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, it opens up kind of the doors too, because I mean, like I said, it's such a wide variety of stuff. Like I've gotten stuff in your crates before that I'm like, oh, what is this? And then I find out what it is, and then there's another avenue of wrestling that I didn't know before. Like I don't watch a lot of Lucha Underground. I don't have the channel. Like I just don't have really a ton of time with a 2.5-year-old to like browse on YouTube stuff. So in the last crate, when I got like Pentagon Junior stuff, I was like, oh, what is this? Like, I don't even know who this is. And then I looked into it, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, this is great. So it's a nice avenue to kind of, introduce new things to fans. So
that's one thing I've kind of fought with is a lot of people had mentioned putting almost a checklist in the box. I'm still considering that, but I just kind of like the factor of not knowing what it is and looking for it and finding out about it and and learning for yourself kind of thing. I still may do the checklist, but one thing we are doing with Kid Cadet on a YouTube channel, she's going to do the official unboxings every month and kind of give a rundown of the items in the box each month. So I think that may help out a little bit with that.
Nice. Is getting the indie stuff. I mean, everybody kind of wants to get their name out there too, and so that's nice that like people reach out to you. But is getting more like WWE stuff, like do you have to kind of jump through hoops a little bit? Like, is there licensing stuff that goes on with that, or are you just does your gig strictly fall under kind of off the beaten path, like distributor kind of thing?
Right. I'm basically just like a Walmart or any other store.
Okay.
I really don't have to worry about any licensing. I just have to have set up with each of the distributors. They all have my store license and all that stuff to be able to resell the stuff. So as long as I have that to show them, then I just buy it at a wholesale level. All the WWE stuff is licensed, and there's really no WWE items that's not licensed, except for the artwork. Artwork kind of falls under a different category, and it really can't be licensed. But the action figures and all that stuff, I buy directly from Mattel and Funko and those guys. So that stuff is a little bit easier to get. Truthfully, the Mattel Elite figures, those could be kind of hard to get, just because they're so in demand across the country. So I put in orders for them all the time, but the orders are hardly filled just because they're in demand so much from other companies.
Yeah. How far ahead do
I
you
like some of
usually
this.
plan? Oh, go for it, Harmon.
I was saying I like some of the smaller stuff too, like I like the Pentagon Junior stuff, the stickers. I like the stickers. I like the pins. I've got the Black Panther Roddy Piper pin on my hat at work. Just like the calling spots cards, the the cards are good. I was actually kind of disappointed when they started putting faces on them. I was like,
Yeah, I was too, and I mentioned that to Richard, like, hey, what's up with the faces? And he really didn't give me a too solid of an answer, so I don't know what really went on with that. But I'm like you, I kind of dug that without the faces.
it felt kind of like an insider thing without the faces too. It was like, oh, I knew who that is. That's Seth Rollins. That's Kevin Owens. And then they started showing up with faces, and I was like, this doesn't seem as special. I mean, they're still very cool. I got my hot rod one over on the wall over here, and I actually they're all on the wall over there.
Yeah, I mean that's those 5x7 cards. I don't think we could turn away from those now. I mean, so many customers love those things, and they'll pretty much just be one of those things that will be in every box. I mean, just because people look forward to them and really dig them. So, when I first seen them and Richard showed them to me, I was like, man, those are awesome, and I think people will really enjoy them.
Yeah, and the Calling Spots magazine.
Oh yeah,
Last month that we got. No, those are great. I don't know. I've looked through that thing. I don't know how many times.
yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's so well written, and I mean, it's a very, very good magazine.
Nice.
Yeah, and it covers a lot too. I mean, you get New Japan, stuff over on the European side, WWE stuff. It's got stuff for everybody.
Yeah.
So Ed, how far ahead do you kind of plan for your crates? Like I know, like you just said that sometimes the elite action figures are hard to get, and like your orders aren't being fulfilled sometimes. When that happens, does it put a kind of a damper on your plans for the crate, or are you kind of far enough ahead that you can kind of react and deal with it?
A little bit. I usually plan about 2 months out in advance, but it usually changes, for reasons like that. I have an idea what I'm going to do every crate, but then it's, once we get to the point where we order, can we get it? Do they have enough of it? And then, you kind of have a backup plan for I kind of tier out the items. Okay, this costs this much, or is worth this much, is worth this much, and then I have a backup plan for each one of those tiers to kind of add in for each of the months. And then a lot of times, I'll have something planned out, and somebody will call me and be like, hey, I got this. What do you think about this? And I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I'll push something back, just because it's available right now. It's super cool, and I just want to roll with it. So that happens a lot. So at the 11th hour, something comes up, and then I just on a whim change it.
Nice.
Well, it's going to be nice to have that kind of flexibility too. Where it's your stuff, and if you want to change it at the last second, you can. You don't have
Right.
to. You don't have to ask anybody. Or this. It's like, nope, it's mine. Doing it.
Right.
Oh man. What's been like your favorite crate item that you've been like super excited about to offer the subscribers? Like, have you gotten something that you're like, oh, this is so cool, and then you just like you give it out?
Let's see. Just off the top of my head, probably the Pentagon Junior plush.
Yeah.
That thing was so cool, and it was actually handmade. All of them were handmade down in Mexico by a family that does those. So it kind of has a really cool backstory to it. It wasn't made in a factory or anything like that. It's just a family down in Mexico that hand makes them. So they do everything. They stuff them, they cut it, and sew it. So that's really neat. Other than that, the Calling Spots cards are always my favorites. The Headlock comic was another one of my favorites. What else? Let me think.
I didn't start getting.
What's that,
You broke
Harmon?
up a little bit.
So I didn't get the Headlock comic. I missed out on that crate.
Oh,
I got
okay.
it.
And I mean that thing's so well written and is really really cool. And then going back to crate number one, we actually had the Kazarian the All Yeah comic, which was really neat. A lot of people enjoyed that.
Nice.
So
Speaking of like kind of past stuff too, you also do like kind of a store online, so people can purchase former or past crate things. Was that always part of the plan, or like I said, I think I came on probably like the fourth or third crate or something. So was that from day one? Was that something that was started?
No, actually, it wasn't. I started amassing a lot of, not a lot, but just overstock, from overordering and so on. So, I did some investigating to see, what the best thing to do with it was. Just have crates I could put together and sell them as a one-time thing of past things, but all the other companies, I didn't see where they had a store where you could really add things on. So I kind of came up with that idea and put it at a pretty good price, just to see if people would want it and enjoy it. And it really took off. People like having that option, because if they don't like that item, they don't have to get it. And it's pretty cheap. I think we have the T-shirts on there for $6 or $7, and so I think it's a great value. And if it's things that people missed and they just signed up, they could go back and get it. So it was kind of a trial thing. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but I mean, it's been fantastic. It really does well.
Yeah, I was surprised at the price too. Like that's how I got my Randy Savage pop vinyl, and it was like cheaper than Amazon. I was like, this is all right. I'm like, this is great. I'll just add it to my next crate, and yeah, I was thrilled with that. So that was a big plus for me.
Yeah, I've almost pulled the trigger on the Luke Harper Elite and the
yeah.
I don't know how to do it. Add it to my crate. Add it to my crate. I'm like, no, that's
pull the trigger. Ed, what were you gonna say?
I said the Headlock comic is still on there if you wanted one. I was going to say something else, but I lost my train of thought.
All good. Happens to me all the time.
Right.
Harmon, do you have any more questions for Ed about the biz? I was going to start in on just some quick wrestling questions. That's some fun stuff, but anything else you got about Wrestlecrate?
We hit all the questions that I had about the company. So what do we want to do now?
Well, I just want to, Ed, who are some of your favorite wrestlers of all time?
Let's see. My former favorite wrestler of all time was Mick Foley.
No. Uh-oh.
Burn.
I mean, he is a legend. It is what it is. I mean, he was a great performer, well liked. But let's see, Stone Cold. I've always been a Stone Cold guy. Gosh, there's just so many of them. There wasn't really anybody it's just all of wrestling. I just love it. When I was a kid, I was a big Jake the Snake fan.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
There you go.
And then when I got into my teens and early 20s, I kind of switched over to WCW, and I was I gave up on WWF, WWE, and watched WCW full time, and I liked Vampiro and Raven and Ernest the Cat Miller for some odd reason.
That is very odd.
I don't know why.
Wait, I thought I was the only one. Okay, so
call your mama.
that guy was hilarious.
Yeah, he was good.
He was funny. One of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life was it was during the when WCW was in its final days, and there was a wrestler, I don't know who it was, but he was Dog, and then they had Ernest the Cat Miller, and Ernest the Cat Miller would always chase Dog around, and then they ended up having a cat versus dog match, and it was like the worst thing ever.
Oh man!
I mean, like Ernest the Cat Miller one time found Dog drinking out of the toilet. It was just. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could find that on YouTube, it's worth a watch if you could find it somewhere. But it was, I can't remember the wrestler's name or who it was, but it was cat versus dog.
Oh, yeah, they were the worst. Like WCW in their last days there, man, for like the last probably year, it was some sad moments. We talk about it all the time. Like if you go on the network and watch some of the pay-per-views, if you can get through them, more power to you. They're
Right,
pretty
yeah,
horrendous.
Yeah, like they had like hacksaw cleaning toilets and stuff. And...
Oh.
Like I mean, they when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash first came over, and then the NWO and all that was so great, and it was at its peak, and I mean that was really really good stuff. And then a couple years later they just fell off. It was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I was always a big WCW guy too. Like I loved the cruiserweights. Um,
Yeah,
big Rey Mysterio fan. Like pretty much all the cruiserweights. Malenko was just awesome. Like
and
I
Billy
love that
Kidman,
style of wrestling.
Oh, Billy
like Billy
Kidman
Kidman and
and
all them. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, who does Aiden really like? Who,
He likes Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is he's from the Cincinnati area, so
oh, nice. Yeah,
um
that's right.
yeah. So he likes Dean Ambrose. Probably he likes Stardust. He
good
hates
man.
Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins is probably one of my favorites today. I like Rollins. I don't like Rollins' mic skills. He seems a little whiny a little bit, but I don't
Yeah,
like that too much. But in ring, the guy's incredible.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
uh,
absolutely.
yeah, but Rollins and Kevin Owens, those are probably my two favorites right now. Aiden, he likes Ambrose, Stardust. Those are probably his top two.
Nice. We're big Stardust fans over here. We like Stardust a lot.
Yeah, I mean that guy's great.
Yeah, so good, so underused. If it's still off, so awesome.
We're
Uh,
Fandango fans too. If they ever put him on TV again.
He
Fandango.
was actually I went to SmackDown last week, and he actually did a dark match versus Stardust.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
No, you know what? I think it was a main event match. Maybe I can't remember. I think it might have been on main event.
nice.
Did they
Yeah,
Yeah,
film
because I
before
think
SmackDown?
you were at SmackDown, like the SmackDown after I went to Boston.
Oh,
oh,
really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Ed,
what
did you
else?
want to
Oh,
stick around?
what's your take on?
Did you want to stick around to talk Hell in a Cell?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man. I got probably 10 more minutes I could go.
Yeah, we'll just get your quick opinion on a few things. Let's go with the big match, Hell in a Cell, Lesnar versus Taker. Who do you got?
Um, I think Taker's going to win. I don't know if it's going to be clean. It might be a DQ. Um, he shouldn't win. Lesnar should dominate everybody. But I think since it's the final one, I think it's just going to end in some crazy all-out brawl, which is going to turn into a DQ. There's not going to be a winner. There's not going to be a loser, and it's just kind of going to end that whole feud that way.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Uh,
my take on it.
yeah, they keep saying that this is going to be their final match against each other. So it sounds like, and rightly so, it sounds like Taker's starting to wind down, and maybe this might be it, or he'll probably do something at Mania. But as it pertains to Brock, this should be it. So
Right? Yeah. And I'm for that. I mean, you could tell he's Undertaker. He's one of the all-time greats, and he's definitely lost a step. And he doesn't look as good as he used to. And I just as a fan, I hate seeing that. I want to remember these guys in their prime, especially in the ring.
hmm yeah, right on.
You can see your heroes get old.
It's tough.
Right.
Rollins versus Kane. Who do you got?
Rollins. I think Rollins he'll win clean. Um, Kane's another one where I still don't understand. It's 2015 and Kane's still wrestling, and
Yeah,
it was really surprising when they put him in a main event match. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Are you serious?" That whole angle was kind of funny when it first started with him. Going back and forth. He did pretty good on the mic. There's a couple humorous moments, but I mean, it's 2015. Kane should not be in the title picture.
I agree. I'm excited that the Demon Kane is back, but
Yeah.
yeah. Harmon's been preaching Demon Kane for about a year now. So
Yeah, but I don't like his beef jerky mask.
yeah,
I like
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be
I like
cool
the original mask. First
for him to
debut
pop
back
up
in
every once in a while and
'97.
just do his Kane thing, but for him to be in a title hunt is I don't get it.
yeah, it's silly.
Yeah.
They seem to do that every once in a while when he's just like filler when they don't have a viable opponent. They're like, just throw Kane in there. He's big. Like he'll take care of it.
Yeah,
They've
right.
got to start doing that. They got to start phasing these older guys out and get the newer guys in, and actually, I don't know, try making stories again.
Right.
Uh, But
That'd be
yeah, like
that'd be
Big
something, wouldn't
Show
it?
needs to be phased out. Kane,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
you know.
Uh, so who's gonna join? Who's gonna join your boy Ambrose? Have they decided that yet, or no?
No,
Because I
that's not
know.
happening anymore.
Oh, it's just not
Yeah.
happening
Yeah, that's not happening.
because Orton's out. Orton's hurt.
Yep,
So
that match got replaced by uh,
tell me
Neville,
Naomi. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Neville, Cesaro, and Ziggler versus
Sheamus, Rusev, and Barrett.
Sheamus, Barrett, and six
Yeah.
man tag. Don't know what to do. 6-man tag.
Yeah.
Six-man tag. What is this? A Monday Night Raw? Come on.
Right. I
Oh,
think when they're like, I don't know. I've seen some stats somewhere where like 75% of the main events were 6-man tags for like 4 months in a row or something.
Oh,
oh my
Crazy.
wow.
God! Just make a trios belt and call it good already.
Right.
Nice.
Did you
Oh
guys
man.
happen to see SmackDown tonight?
I've got it on right now.
Okay.
I have not. No.
Okay, I won't spoil anything for you.
I did read that somebody debuted, and that was pretty
Yes, that's
awesome.
what I was going to talk about. Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
can
thought it
talk
was
about it.
cool. Yeah, I mean, it seemed to go over pretty well. So I mean, he got a pretty good pop, which was pretty cool. I was kind of worried about him coming in, to the main roster. I wasn't sure how the
Yeah,
crowd
we
would
were too.
react to him. But I think NXT's so over, anybody except for the Ascension can come on TV and be over.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, the person who we're talking about is Tyler Breeze. So Tyler Breeze debuts on SmackDown. And he assaults Ziggler. That's the deal, right? That's what happened.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's a great. That's how things should be done right there. I love that start to that feud. So, and just think of the merch that WWE is gonna be able to sell with Tyler Breeze. Like he's just so
You
brash.
mean
Like they could.
Summer Breeze?
Summer
Ah,
Breeze.
Tyler
Yeah.
Breeze. Right.
It's
Right.
perfect.
Uh, it writes itself.
It really does.
So that's cool, man.
Ed, have you
Well,
I don't know, it's kind of a general question, I guess. Now that you're so entrenched in the wrestling community, have you found it to be just that everybody just wants to help out? Everybody that's interested in wrestling is just so yeah, go for it, whatever, man, just do your thing. It's awesome. Wrestling's great. Johnny and I started on his little website, and we just made some friends on Twitter, and now we're on smarkandmark.com with the rest of the guys, and it just kind of everybody that we've met so far in the wrestling community has just been so welcoming, and everybody just loves it, and it's just a really cool group of people.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I didn't know what to expect, when I first came in, but I've met so many awesome people that are so helpful, and I feel like I've met some like lifelong friends, who I didn't even know, 8 months ago, and then all of a sudden, I'm talking to them daily, and they're just so helpful, and just even just random people, fans of ours, that are, what can I do to help you? I want to promote you and help you out. And I mean, it really is an awesome community. Everybody wants to help out and pitch in. And it's funny, like, you're talking about the other companies starting up or whatever, and people taking up for, I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, a bunch of good people in the wrestling community. There really is.
yeah, it definitely seems like, I mean, the industry in general is a very homegrown, esque kind of business, going back to like even like the territory days, that was, excuse me, that was your gig. Like you'd travel around and, pay your dues and work your way up. And it's awesome to see a company like yours kind of start out, an idea from an 8-year-old, and be like this awesome thing. So I love it, man. I think it's great. I'm all out of questions, man. You've been nothing but a pleasure tonight. Harmon, you got anything else for Ed?
No, Edward, just plug all your stuff. Plug your Twitter, plug your website, plug everything right now.
You can find us
Yeah,
on
man.
Twitter at WrestleCrates with an S, Facebook, search Wrestlecrate. You can sign up for Wrestlecrate at wrestlecrate.com. Plans start at just $14.99 a month plus $6 shipping and handling. If you're in Europe, we have our new distributorship over in Europe, so no more $20 shipping. You can find them at Wrestlecrate UK on Twitter. And I believe the website is wrestlecrate.co.uk for Europe.
Excellent. And real quick, you guys can check us out at smarkandmark.com. Check me out on Twitter at Jonny Fashion. Harmon.
I'm at Harmon316.
Awesome. Check out Smark and Mark's Twitter at smarkandmark_PW. Ed, thank you so much tonight. It was great to have you on.
Yes,
get
thank
the
you,
inside
Ed.
of the business. Wishing you nothing but luck in the future, and we're going to continue to be subscribers and be happy subscribers, and I can't wait for the next box. Super pumped.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Peace out, y'all.